Hey guys, welcome again. Have you ever heard of the Philips Company? Of course, there'll be very few who are not familiar with the name Philips. Do you know what happened to the company recently? Let's check the video to know more. Before getting into the topic, let's know about Philips. The company was formed in 1891 by Gerald Philips and his father, who currently employ around 74,000 people across 100 countries. Do you remember the advertisements of lights on the television while watching your favorite TV show? Yeah, Philips is coming to the electrical market with their first product, lights. The company initially had the name Royal Philips, which was later shifted to Philips. The first factory started by the company was now a museum, which is situated in the Netherlands. Along with lights, Philips also showed their interest in compact discs. They made these discs using Sony's technology. But the main product of the company is carbon. By 1907, they started creating vacuum lamps. Soon after that, radios began to boom in the US. As a result, they shifted their focus to radios. Later, they decided to shift from electrical products to healthcare products. As a result, the company is formed in three main divisions: Philips Consumer Electronics, Philips Domestic Appliance and Personal Care, Connected Care, and Diagnostics and Treatment. The company began making shaving products under the name Philips Shave brand. By 2012, they became the largest company manufacturing lights. They soon became the light brands largely used by the people. The company is listed in the top 50 companies on the US Stock Exchange. Through this, Philips was able to generate huge capital from the public. This event played a key role in Philips topping the electrical market in 2012. Companies also listed secondarily on the New York Stock Exchange. Gerald's father, Frederick Philips, was an investment banker, and he initially became an investor in his son's company. This became an initial investment for Gerald to start Philips. Through this money, they bought an empty factory. By 1895, Gerald's brother, Anton, joined the company as a sales representative. Although he had a degree in engineering, the bankruptcy that Philips needed to face in 1895 required his presence. Anton was soon able to contribute some very important business ideas, which later helped the company to grow rapidly. This resulted in the budding and new family business named Philips Metal Filament Lamp Factory. Philips brothers later incorporated all the family companies to form the Philips Corporation. This later became a profit for the company. Soon after this, radio began to boom in the US, as we stated earlier. The international programs were conducted in 1928, which Eddie hosted. He hosted the Happy Station show that became the world's longest shortwave program. Soon, bad news came where the German invasion became a villain. They commanded that the transmitter for pro-Nazi could be used only if they were German-made. Soon in the 1930s, Philips had an entry into the Stirling engine. A low-power portable generator fueled this, which would help the company expand its radio sales. There was a condition when electricity generation from the main supply became a problem. Scientists began researching techniques, and they started comparing various power sources. Soon they identified that the Stirling engine was a good option. Scientists identified that the engine is a better option in terms of audibility and radio interference steel. Also, the engine can work on cheap lamp oil, and these engines are portable everywhere. Until then, no serious studies have happened on the Stirling engine, like how it occurred in internal combustion and steam engines. Scientists believe that with the help of further studies and modern materials, a possible solution could be done through Stirling engines. On the first experimental setup, 16 watts of shaft power was generated. From that very time, this setup was used for generating power. By the late 1940s, Type 10 of this setup was handed over to Philips, and then incorporated this setup into the generator set for the shavers. This resulted in the origin of the first shaver from Philips. Philips' brothers soon heard the German invasion would happen in the Netherlands. Soon they took a huge amount of capital from their company and went to the US. This helped the company to manage throughout the war without much problem. At the same time, the company was in the paper in the Netherlands. This shows that Philips is not ready to give up their origin to the German invasion. But on 6th of December 1942, the British secretly moved out an operation called Oyster. This caused heavy damage to radio stations. Still, the situation was not favorable after. The RAF again bombed the stations on March 30th, 1943. Fritz Philips was the only courageous member of the Philips family. He stayed in the Netherlands alone and saved the lives of 382 Jews. Later, the company started working on energy efficiency. Their green logo represents they would be green from the time that follows. This also showed that their products are more efficient and perform better than their competitors. So why are you surprised? They won the first prize from the U.S. Department of Energy, which follows a cash prize of $10 million in cash. This is to produce a high-energy efficient, long-operating life bulb to replace the normal 60-watt incandescent bulb. This first product was first given to consumers in 2012. This bulb can provide a light of 900 lumens with just 10 watts of power. This is a huge achievement for the company. The company also won the #1 Green Space ranking in Greenpeace 2012 Guide to Greener Electronics. Due to its high-efficiency products, studies showed they could reduce greenhouse gases by 30% by 2020. Although they were at their peak, that didn't last for long. Then what do you think is why a successful company like Sony is out of the electrical market? The main reason for their fall is they sell off almost everything, then sell their company rights as well to keep the brand in place. Only left them with the oral hygiene products and razors. The electric toothbrush, which once comprised 15% of the total, now shrunk to 10%. They officially removed electronics from their brand in 2013. Due to mismanagement and lack of innovation, the company needs to exit from its first position or maybe even the market. You might have observed in the logo of Philips radio waves or sound waves surrounding their logo. This symbolized the most successful innovation made by the company. Even though the compact disc business had gone well, the company's next product faced huge competition from the market giants. When Philips launched DVDs, they needed to compete with Sony and were forced to finish at last due to the heavy competition, and they also fell into the wrong competition with Video 2000. Philips lost $1 billion on betting for CDI, an interactive CD format. Also, they couldn't identify the market trends and failed in customer satisfaction. When iPods, smartphones, etc. are trending, the company found it hard to keep up with this pace in the industry. The company's third major success came from audio-visual businesses, but they failed by following their Japanese competitors' model of releasing many products rather than focusing on just one. If the company had given some focus on its innovative products like shavers with rotating blades, the result would have been different. Also, in their future run, the company took huge risks with wrong products and lost a lot of money. An example of this is the computer line developed by them. But the product was unfortunately out of industry standard, so very few people are into them, and most people went with web TVs, giving Philips a heartbreak. As new trends were launched in the market where people started browsing on their web TVs with a good user interface rather than from PCs, they gave them another one. So they decided to provide this trending technology on smartphones with a 2G network. But unfortunately, this innovation also failed due to the cost. The logo of the company was talking against them. All the innovations were against realities, which made them fall into a ditch. Even though the company is top of the list of innovations, they couldn't generate any money for the company. The company made around $137 million in the period, but could keep only 3% of it. At the same time, their competitors can keep 10 and 20% margins. This forced them to move away from the electronics market completely. They disbanded their research lab in 2012, sold all their TV and monitored businesses to a Hong Kong-based company. Later, a year later, the company sold its audio business to a Japanese-based company. Finally, the company sold its domestic appliance division. Next comes the semiconductor industry. Even though Philips is not good in this field, this area started manufacturing electronic components for their products. They failed to bet on new technology called SRAM memory, which made them lose another $1 billion. Their semiconductor market was sold, and in 2005 it became an independent company that manufactures car chips. So now you understand. With that, we come to the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Share your valuable thoughts in the comments. So guys, see you in another one. Until then, see ya.